Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, my name's Tara, in case you guys don't know. If you're not following me on Facebook, you need to. The link is down in the description. But anyway, we have a lot of fun on that page, so go find me there. You can also hit the join button to join the membership for this page. You'll get free PDFs of my patterns. If there's anything that's not there, ask me for it. I'm pretty active on social media. So as you know, let me get this in order. We started doing numbers. And then Christmas came and all this stuff happened, and then I just recently put up my X and my Y because I just got so far away from my Tapestry Crochet numbers. But it's always good to have, you know, if you're going to do a happy birthday sign, happy 5th birthday, or happy, you know, 2nd anniversary, and you have numbers that you can use. So that's why I decided to do the numbers. So same deal as all my letters. So now the whole entire alphabet is now on my channel, in case you're wondering. Same deal. I use a Grafgan. Find my numbers online. This does not print it out with the web page that I got it from. They're all free. They're all public. You have to just Google Grafgan. And I do all the counting, so you don't have to do all that. So today we're doing 7 and 8. So I'm going to use a 6mm hook because that's what I've been using the whole time. So we start off like we do all the other ones. If you've been following all my other ones, we're going to start off with chaining 12 and doing 11 single crochets. So if you're turning this into a bunting, you're obviously going to want to start with making this bottom part a triangle if you want. So I'm just showing you the tapestry crochet. I'm not making a bunting with you. So fair warning. Try to keep your stitches loose. I know it feels weird at first, but when you add the white, you're going to thank me. That's my 11 single crochets back up. I'm going to bring it down a little bit closer. Oh, this blue is going to be a problem. So we're going to just do 11 single crochets with our base color for our second row. So while you're waiting for me to fix my crap, we're not adding color yet. So your next row is just going to be 11 single crochets. And I will see you on the other side, apparently. Oh. Well, I finally got my big knot untied. That was horrendous. So this next row, we're going to incorporate some color. So make sure you're getting into your very first stitch. If you got to pull this back. And you're going to do 5 single crochets with your base color. This is my 5th stitch. I'm going to finish that with my white. So if you don't care about reading this from front to back, or back to front, then don't have to worry about weaving everything in. But I'm going to weave everything in as I go, which is why I use such a big hook. With white, you're going to do 3 single crochets, or your beat color, so whatever color you're using, it doesn't have to be white. You're going to do 3 single crochets. You're going to finish that third one with your blue. And with your blue, you're going to do 3 single crochets to the end. Oh, I didn't weave that in. I am struggling today. It's just not my day to film a video, I don't think. So that's my third blue. This little nubby you can just cut off if you got one. I got one. I don't know where it just went. So chain 1, turn your work. You're going to have to turn your weight with everything. So round 4, you're going to do 3 single crochets with your blue. So I'm still weaving in. I'm going to be weaving the whole time. So on your third stitch, you're going to switch to white. And with white, you're going to do 4 single crochets. Or with your B color, excuse me. On your 4th stitch, you're going to finish it with your blue. And with blue, you're going to do 4 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 5, you're going to do 5 single crochets. This is my 5th stitch. I'm going to finish that with white. So that was 1 stitch into the white from the previous row. With white, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. I'm going to finish this second one with my base color, and I'm going to do 4 single crochets to the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 6, round 6, you're going to do 4 single crochets with your base color. Oh my gosh. This is my 4th stitch, the hard way. We're just repeating. You're going to do 2 single crochets with your B color. So on the second one, you're going to switch to blue, and you're going to do 5 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. You're going to have these little artifacts on the side. I like mine, but if you don't like them, then after you're done the project, you can go around with your base color and do stitches. Round 7, you're going to do 5 single crochets with your base color. On your 5th stitch, you're going to finish it with white. And with white, you're going to do 1 B and finish. So you're basically just going to pull up a loop and finish it with the blue. And then you're going to do 5 single crochets with blue. I don't use bobbins or anything when I'm just using 2 colors. But if you're getting tangled, you just need to spin your work around. And I'll show you once I start getting more tangled. Row 8, you're going to do 5 single crochets with your base. This is my 5th stitch. I'm going to finish it with my white. With white, I'm going to do 2 B's. On the 2nd stitch, I'm going to finish it with my blue, and I'm going to do 4 single crochets. This is my 4th stitch, chain 1. So, as far as untangling, so you got this tangling going on. If you just spin your work while you're holding one of these, and show you what I mean if they weren't so stuck. There we go. I had fibers stuck together. They weren't twisted together. I had fibers stuck together. But anyway, yeah, you can untwist your work doing that. It's so quick, easy peasy, takes a couple of seconds. Chain 1, turn your work. Round number 9, you're going to do 4 single crochets with your base. So on your 4th stitch, you're going to finish it with your white, and you're going to do 2 single crochets with your white, with B. Finish that 2nd stitch with your base color and do 5 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 10, you're going to do 6 single crochets with your base color. This is my 6th stitch on the white one from the row before. So finish that with your white. You're going to do 2 single crochets with your white. Finishing that with your blue, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets with blue. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 11, you're going to do 3 single crochets with your base color. On your 3rd stitch, you're going to switch to white. You're going to do 2 B. On your 2nd B, you're going to switch to blue. And you're going to do 2 blue, 2 base color. So on your 2nd one, you're going to finish that 2nd stitch with your white, and you're going to do 2 color B's. On that 2nd stitch, you're going to go back to your base color, and you're going to do 2 base color. Chain 1, turn your work. round 12. We're almost done this. That goes to round 16. Round 12, you're going to do 2 single crochets with your base color. So your second stitch, you're going to finish with your color B. Your color B, you're going to do 3 single crochets. On your third stitch, you're going to finish that with blue. With blue, you're going to do 2 single crochets. Finish that second stitch with your B color, and with B color you're going to do 2 single crochets. So finish your second stitch with your base color, and with your base color you're going to do 2 single crochets. Monotonous. Jade 1, turn your work. Round 13, you're going to do 2 single crochets with your blue, so just following what you got sitting here. So in your second stitch you're going to go to white, or your base color B, or your B color, not your base color. Wow, I'm confusing myself. With your color B, you're going to do 6 single crochets. So we're doing the top of the 7 right now. It's 3. So on your 2, 3, 4, on your 6th stitch, finish that with your base color and do 3 single crochets with your base color. Chain 1, turn your work. Just about done. So for the next 3 rows, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch with your base color, so my blue. I'm weaving in the white anyway, all the way across, just so I can just cut it off and I don't have to sew it in. So you should have 11 single crochets for the next 3 rows. So that's my 3 rows. So I fasten off here because I'm not making this a bunting, but if you are, then you would continue, because this would get folded and sewn around a piece of yarn or a dowel or whatever you're hanging it up with, right? And then down here you'd put a triangle on here. Now if I fasten off from here, I can still decide to turn this into a bunting. I just need to reattach after everything. So you kind of just need to stretch out your work. This needs to be blocked, obviously. Now that's your 7. So number 8, I'm going to do with the same colors. You don't have to. You can change your colors if you want. It starts off the same way. They're all the same size. Chain 12, 11 single crochets. So that's my chain 12, 11 single crochets. Round 2 is the same as the other one. You're going to do 11 single crochets. That's my 11. I've chained 1. I've turned. Time to bring in some white. We're going to do 3 single crochets with our base color. So on our 3rd stitch, we're going to finish it with white, or your color B. With your color B, you're going to do 6 single crochets. It's a little awkward on the first few rows. So on your 6th stitch, you're going to go back to your blue. And you're going to do the 2 single crochets that are left. And then you can snip off that one little piece of white that's your tail. So that's just my straggler from reattaching or attaching, bringing it in. Chain 1, turn your work. So turn it with your white. Just like we did before. Round 4, you're going to do 1 single crochet and then you're going to change to white. So you're basically going to go in and you're going to pull up a loop. And you're going to finish the stitch with white. With white, you're going to do 3 B, is how you'll see it written. So on your 3rd B, you're going to go back to your base color and you're going to do 2 single crochets. With your white, you're going to do 3 B's. So on your 3rd stitch, go back to your blue, finish the stitch with your blue, and then do 2 single crochets. Stuck on something. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 5, you're going to do 1 single crochet. So you're going to pull up a loop and you're going to go to your white. You have blue stitch in here. It's so easy to lose your stitches, but you do have a blue stitch in here. So starting in that blue stitch, you're going to do 3 white or whatever color you're using. That's my 3rd stitch, so I'm going to go back to my blue and I'm going to do 4 single crochets. Oops. 2, 3. This is my 4th single crochet. I'm going to go back to my white. I'm going to do 2 single crochets with my white. So I am pulling too hard. I can tell that I'm doing that, so I'm going to try to loosen up a bit. It does make a big difference. So with my, I got 1 stitch left. I'm going to fill that with my base color. Chain 1 and turn my work. So I can see this side coming in because I've pulled too tight somewhere. But you can just stretch your work out and relax your stitches if you're finding that. At the end of the video, I will show you what blocking is. So again, 1 single crochet, so bring up a loop and finish that stitch with your white. With white, you're going to do 2 single crochet. So these are going to be a repeat rows because we're doing an 8. So with your base, you're going to do 5 single crochets. I guess it's just changed a bit. This is my 5th stitch. I'm going to finish it with my white. With my white, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Oh my gosh. I only did 4. I knew something was wrong. I did 4 blue. Two, 3, 4. This is my 5th stitch. I'm going to do 2 single crochets with my white. So on my second one, I'm going to go back to my blue. And with blue, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. So this is the turning over stitch. It can be so difficult sometimes. Pain in the butt, but chain 1, turn your work. So you can spin your yarn out if you want at this point. Round 7, moving right along here. You're going to do 1 single crochet, so bring up loop, change to your white. With white, you're going to do 2 single crochets. So on your second stitch, you're going to go back to blue. You're going to do 4 single crochets with blue. Go back to white. With white, you're going to do 2 single crochets. So on your second stitch, you're going to go back to blue. And with blue, you're going to do 2 single crochets to the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 8, you're going to do 2 single crochets with your base color. So on your second one, you're going to go to white. And you're going to do 3 single crochets with white. On your third stitch, you're going to finish that with blue. And with blue, you're going to do 2 single crochets. On your second one, you're going to finish it with white, and you're going to do 2 single crochets. You're going to finish the second one with blue, and you're going to do 2 single crochets. Easy peasy, monotonous, but easy peasy. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 9, you're going to do 3 single crochets with your blue, with your base color. So on my third stitch, I'm going to finish it with white. And then I'm going to do 4 single crochets with my white. This is my 4th stitch, so I'm going to finish that with blue. And with blue, I'm going to do 4 single crochets to the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 10. Round 10, you're going to do 6 single crochets with your base color. You're going to finish that 6th stitch with your white, and you're going to do 2 single crochets. Finish that 2nd stitch with your blue, and you're going to do 3 single crochets to the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Alright, round 11. We're going to do 1 single crochet. So I'm going to pull up. Finish that with your white. With your white, you're going to do 2 single crochets. So on your 2nd stitch, you're going to finish it with blue. With blue, you're going to do 1 single crochet. So you're going to finish that with your base color, where you're going to do 2 single crochets. You're going to finish that with your blue, and you're going to do 5 single crochets to the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 12, you're going to do 5 single crochets. This is my 5th stitch, so I'm going to finish it with white. I'm going to do 2 single crochets with white. So on my 2nd one, I'm going to finish that with my base. With my base, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. I'm going to finish that with my white. Oh, I knew my ball was going to come flying out of there. With my white, I'm going to do 2 single crochets, finishing that with my blue, and then doing my 1 single crochet that I have left. Chain 1, turn your work. Round 13, we're going to do 2 single crochets with our base color. So we're going to finish that with our white. With white, we're going to do 3 single crochets. On our 3rd stitch, we're going to finish that with blue. And with blue, we're going to do 6 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. For the next 3 rows, I want you to just do 3 base color. I'm going to weave in my white so I can just cut it off at the end. So 11 single crochets across. There we go. So, I know that's a funny looking 8. That's what it looks like in the graph too. See if I can put these side by side. So, it just goes this way. That's what it looks like in the graph as well. That's your 8. I know it's funny looking, but these were actually the best letters that I could, or numbers I could find that were kind of fancy and not just blocky. So I didn't want the blocky. So that's why your 8 looks like that. But I like it. It's different. So again, you just need to fasten off unless you're turning this into a bunting. So if you don't know what blocking is, stick around. I will show you in a second. It's very quick and super duper easy. I have blocking pads, so I'm going to show you with those, but if you don't have blocking pads, that's perfectly fine. You don't need it. You can just get a towel, but you are going to need water. So you can either, well, I'll just put up on my screen right now what blocking means. And then I'll meet you right back here. So, blocking boards are like these foam ones. You know the flooring you can get for kids' rooms? It's exactly like that, but it has lines on it so you can pin it straight. Let's think about what I was going to say. So, all you need to do is soak your, I just have a spray bottle of water. You can run this under a tap. You don't need to use a spray bottle, but if you don't have a tap available to you, I do. I'm in the basement. I could have just used, I mean, I'm sure wherever you are, there's a tap with water. So anyway, soak it. So you can put it in the washing machine. You can run it just under a tap and get it nice and soaking wet. And then you basically put it into the shape that you want it, which is a rectangle, and you pin it to the mat. So using the lines to make sure that you're straight. There's steam blocking and stuff, so if you have a steam iron, I don't think I need to do my sides, but that is blocking. These are hairpins, or wig pins, sorry. They're called wig pins on Amazon if you're looking for, or T-pins. Wig pins or T-pins is what these are called, and I love them. I have bought so many pins, and they all come in different sizes. These are large, but you got this little case. So these are some smaller ones here, and then I've got these even smaller ones here. So they come in all kinds of sizes. These ones are really tiny. So you get them on Amazon. It's dirt cheap, so they're not expensive. And that's what blocking is. And then you just let it dry overnight or whatever, and then when it's dry, you're done. So thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video. The next video is going to be 9 and 0. I'm not doing a 10 because, I mean, you can just put a 1 and a 0 together. So 9 and 0 is going to be the last video of the numbers.